Welcome to MojoPlays, and today we're ranking every 3D Sonic game. For this list, we'll be looking at all the 3D platformers with the beloved blue blur. Shout out to Sonic Jam's Hub World for showing us what we could have had in a 3D Sonic game for the Saturn. Which 3D Sonic game is your favorite? Spin dash into the comments and let us know.
Yeah!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wow, that's a pretty snazzy performance there.
Hands down the most broken of the 3D Sonic games, Sonic the Hedgehog, better known as Sonic 06, was the first Sonic game to come to the 7th generation of consoles. Dr. Eggman is back at his evil schemes, and this time around he plans to kidnap Princess Elise. Original, I know. While attempting to do this, Eggman and his crew unleash an evil spirit, which is the start of the mediocre story. Sonic 06 is well known for being just horrible. Almost every part of the game has problems, from the controls to the wonky camera. Despite Sonic 06 being the worst of the 3D Sonic games, at least it gave us a cool character like Silver.
I finally found him. The Iblis Trigger.
Sonic Boom, Rise of Lyric.
Who brought the thunder? This guy.
If you're like me, when you think of Sonic Boom, you probably think of the animated series that wasn't all that bad. If you're even more like me, then you'll probably forget that this game even existed. Sonic Boom follows the oddly redesigned Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Knuckles as they stop Lyric from using powerful crystals to create his army of robots. Sonic Boom kind of takes the main draw of Sonic games, the speed, and throws it out the window. There are some parts when the game switches to a more 3D platformer where you'll encounter speedy sections, but the game is more of a 3D beat-em-up. The bright side to Sonic Boom is the cutscenes feel similar to the show and are actually enjoyable.
You see, guys, I told you I'd find the exit. No problem.
Sonic and the Black Knight. The second and final game in the storybook series, Sonic and the Black Knight tries to turn Sonic into a subpar hack-and-slash game. Sonic is brought back to medieval times by a wizard's spell, which calls upon a champion to save her. For some reason, this was Sonic. King Arthur was turned into the Black Knight due to corruption by Excalibur. Sonic must defeat the Black Knight and bring peace to the kingdom. Sonic and the Black Knight takes all the speed away from Sonic by having him stop so much to fight with his sword, which isn't super intuitive and can be quite boring. Sonic Forces. Sonic Forces allows you to make your own character in the Sonic universe. The created character was the game's main draw. With your OC, you have to go rescue Sonic and take on Eggman. Forces has some great mechanics, like your character having Wispins, weapons powered by Wisp. Each Wisp has its own ability, which makes going back and replaying levels with different Wispins enjoyable. Sonic Forces may have a handful of bugs and a story that kind of falls flat, but if you're a Sonic fan, I'm sure you'll find something enjoyable in Forces.
With this invention, I can expand the Eggman Empire across the globe and conquer the world!
Sonic 3D Blast. As the first 3D Sonic game, 3D Blast tries to keep the sense of speed, which at times can make it feel a little hard to control. While Sonic is zipping around the levels, he is also collecting flickies. These little birds will follow him through the level until they're brought to a ring. Sonic 3D Blast was a great first attempt at a 3D Sonic game, despite being on a 16-bit console at launch. It really showed how Sonic could evolve into more than a 2D platformer. Sonic and the Secret Rings.
They just don't give up.
The first in the storybook series, Sonic and the Secret Rings thrust Sonic into the world of the book Arabian Nights. Eraser is getting rid of pages from Arabian Nights, and Sonic is asked to help, which he does. Sonic catches up with Eraser and is shot with an arrow. Eraser says he will remove the arrow if Sonic gets him the world rings, which will connect the real world and the Arabian Nights world. Yeah, the story's kinda bonkers.
This should be interesting.
Sonic and the Secret Rings is almost like a Sonic game on rails. Sonic has a path on which he can only move forward, and players use the Wiimote to move left and right. The game really wants to use the Wiimote, which is actually its downfall. Moving left and right is all motion-based, and using an attack is done by thrusting the Wiimote, which is not all that responsive. Shadow the Hedgehog.
Whoa, I guess I underestimated his powers.
What happens when you give a hedgehog a gun? Well, you get Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow can't remember anything except his name and escaping from Space Colony Ark with Maria. An alien race finds Shadow and reminds him of a deal they had to bring them the Chaos Emeralds. Shadow believes them about the deal. I mean, it must be true. They know his name.
If he says he knows the truth about who I am, then like it or not, I have to believe him.
Even though the game has guns in it, it doesn't slow the gameplay down. In fact, Shadow the Hedgehog at times has some pretty fun traditional 3D Sonic portions. Also, Shadow's just so cool.
The only way I'm gonna get the secrets to my past is to get those Chaos Emeralds.
Sonic, Lost World.
Now, if you hurry and destroy Sonic, I've got an even bigger sandwich.
Dr. Eggman is capturing those cute little animal friends of Sonic's. Eggman shoots down Tails' plane, and Sonic and Tails crash land on the Lost Hex. Eggman is creating a robot army with the little critters and has control of the Deadly Six due to a magic shell. Sonic gets rid of the shell and the real evil begins. The Deadly Six take over Eggman's robot army. Lost World actually plays well and is the first 3D Sonic game that has a button for going faster. Holding down the trigger will make Sonic run. While running, he can perform parkour moves like hopping over objects and sprinting up walls. The main thing that sets Lost World apart from the other entries in the series is the levels. You'll have more linear levels and 2D levels, but you'll also have levels that are on spheres, similar to Mario Galaxy.
Views are sharper than your words, Brad. Your swords cannot penetrate my dignity.
Sonic Unleashed. Dr. Eggman finally captures Sonic and uses his Chaos Energy Cannon on him. However, this also creates a powerful beast, turning Sonic into a werehog. It's a strange story, but that's not what we're here for. We're here for the speed, and believe it or not, Sonic Unleashed gives you speed some of the time. Sonic Unleashed has two types of play. You either play as Sonic or Werehog Sonic. While playing as Sonic, the gameplay is more reminiscent of classic 3D Sonic games like Sonic Adventure. When you turn into the Werehog, the game slows down and focuses on not so great combat. Sonic Unleashed is the tale of two games, speed levels and action levels. Beauty and the Beast. Sonic Heroes. With multiple stories and gameplay styles in Sonic Heroes, you're bound to find one that you'll like. Team Sonic and Team Dark are pretty straightforward. Speed is the name of the game. Try to get through the level with your team as fast as possible. Team Rose is basically easy mode. There are a few enemies and you can fly longer. Team Chaotic has more of an unusual mission layout, ranging from collecting a certain number of items or destroying certain enemies. Each team consists of 3 members, speed, power, and flying. Players go through levels, swapping between characters, making this one of the more unique Sonic games. Sonic Adventure. While not the first 3D Sonic game, Adventure set the bar for 3D Sonic games. Originally released on the Dreamcast, with a few ports over the years, Sonic Adventure is one of the best 3D Sonic games to date. Dr. Robotnik is tired of always being defeated by Sonic, and tries to find a new way to take his nemesis down. Robotnik learns about Chaos, an ancient creature that protected the Chow. Robotnik feeds Chaos the Chaos Emeralds, loses control, and it's up to Sonic to take him out. Sonic Adventure was a strong starting point for 3D Sonic games, even if it hasn't aged all that well. At times, Sonic feels stiff, and the animation really shows its age.
Problem, Knuckles. We'll take care of everything here.
Sonic Frontiers.
You tracked the Chaos Emeralds here, right? Let's find out what drew them here.
The newest 3D Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers, tries to take the series into an open world setting. Sonic and team are tracking the Chaos Emeralds to Starfall Island. Once they get there, they're sucked into a wormhole and end up in cyberspace. To get back home, Sonic must find the Chaos Emeralds, defeat the Titans, and join the digital and real world. For the most part, Sonic Frontiers plays how you would want a 3D Sonic game to play. It has tons of speed and platforming, and throws it into an open world setting. Sometimes so fast that the game has tons of pop-in. In addition to the open world, there are also more traditional levels that really show how great Frontiers plays and how good it feels to go as fast as possible. Sonic Colors.
Guess it's time for me to start stopping.
The Wii had a handful of exclusive Sonic games, and let's be honest, they weren't all good. Sonic Colors broke that mold to become one of the best Sonic games to date. Dr. Eggman opens Dr. Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park. He is no longer evil, and the park is his way of making amends for all of his bad doings. All seems great until the team meets up with Yacker. Yacker is a wisp, a race of creatures Eggman has been capturing with the intention of using their power to create a mind-controlled laser. Plot twist, he's still bad.
Precious little aliens! I'll harness their hyper-go-on power, and then nothing will stop me!
Sonic and friends explore the amusement park to rescue all the wisps. Sonic Colors is full of interesting and diverse levels, full of, well, color. Gameplay is tight and always feels fresh depending on which wisp you're using.
Welcome to Eggman's incredible interstellar amusement park, where you can enjoy 5 planets for the price of 1.
Sonic Generations. Eggman loses again and creates a time machine to go back in time to work with himself. The Eggmen go back and prevent themselves from losing. To stop these Eggmen, Sonic and Classic Sonic team up and go through classic locations to restore them back to normal. Sonic Generations really shows how Sonic has changed over the years, from playing classic 2D Sonic levels like Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant to classic 3D Sonic levels like City Escape and Planet Wisp. Generations was a celebration of Sonic, and a lot of love went into creating something special for fans of the series. Sonic Adventure 2.
Wow, he's back!
If you were to ask Sonic fans which 3D Sonic game is their favorite, most would probably say Sonic Adventure 2. Not only do you get to play as the heroes in Adventure 2, you also get to play the side of the villains in the Dark Story. Each story has 3 different playstyles. Sonic and Shadow have traditional levels where you simply get to the end as fast as possible. Tails and Eggman's levels are more of a shooter experience. Each character has their own mech that can jump, shoot, and fly. Finally, you have Knuckles and Rouge, whose levels are more open in which you hunt down pieces of the Master Emerald. Adventure 2 also has the Chow Garden, which I spent too much time with. Adventure 2 is the perfect balance of gameplay, decent story, and a lot of replayability, which makes it easy to see why it's most fans' favorite 3D Sonic game. Did you enjoy this video? Check out some other clips from MojoPlays and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.